Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B Ward, this is the Post Mortem show. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to give you our top 5 cursed items from horror movies.
Don't touch it, it's cursed.
There's a curse upon it. As suggested by listener Eileen. So we appreciate you once again sending in your list. She did send a couple, so there are some more. I'm going to put those on the back burner. But today, it's top 5 cursed items.
Like Hornswoggle.
Yeah, he'd be pretty cursed.
Anyone who enters a program with him gets cut.
My finger.
Yeah,
my finger's a cursed item right now.
Was it your finger, or is it just like light tubes?
No, I guess the light tubes would be the cursed item that almost sliced my finger off.
Yeah.
I have a massive wound, gaping.
A finger pussy.
It's infected too. I can already tell. I'm already getting a sore throat. You can kind of hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
And I'm hot in the face.
Yeah. And
I'm starting to have a little bit of a runny nose, and that's infection right there.
Yeah.
So
trying to get some antibiotics.
I'm gonna get some cursed antibiotics.
Yeah.
After we're done here recording, or maybe tomorrow or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
I got 10 fingers.
Yeah, you know. You don't need all of them.
So if you guys listened to our last episode, you saw you listened to the Blood Brothers commercial, which was this weekend in addition to our company Sancal, and got to wrestle Masada.
Yeah.
It's a long-term goal.
Yeah. Fucked your head up.
Got stabbed in the head with some skewers and then DDT'd and yeah. Got pretty fucked up, but it was awesome. So. And it might be my last match in California ever. So got 2 more shows left. I'm hanging it up. Hanging up the boots.
Taking that last ride.
Yeah. Injuries piling up, and I got to stay alive so I can continue to co-host this miraculous show.
And your wife and kids and that other shit.
Yeah, I got wife and kids and that kind of stuff too. But, who's going to do this with you?
Yeah, no.
Biff can't talk.
No, I just have to sit here and ramble. I mean, if I was capable of doing that, I'd have started a podcast a long time ago.
It would be like, okay, today's the top 5 cursed items. I just want to speak about Donald Trump for a minute.
Yeah, pretty much. That
would be
how much I hate that fuckbag. I'm not supposed to talk about work on the show anymore because of HIPAA stuff and all that.
Yeah, we're trying to get enough listeners to where it's like.
But I've got something that's not really going to violate HIPAA because it doesn't really give out anyone's information. I heard a 90-year-old woman today refer to him as a straw-haired butt monkey.
That's pretty awesome.
She's like, but it was like a gravelly old lady voice. That straw-haired butt monkey. It was fantastic.
That's better than the Cheeto monkey and all the stuff, that they call him. So, yeah, but that's what after I am killed in the ring, that'll be Dom's podcast. Yeah. The what do you call it? The white-haired butt monkey show.
The straw-haired butt monkey.
Straw-haired butt monkey. So we will get to the top 5 cursed items, but before we do that, we got a little bit of horror news. Horror news. Okay, horror news. So, have you seen Laid to Rest?
Yes.
And 2?
Yes.
Chrome Skull?
Yes.
Pretty awesome, right?
Pretty good movies.
Pretty good.
Good for what they are. Method Man's in the first one. I like that.
Yeah. Laid to Rest 3 begins filming this year, and Robert Green Hall is calling it the goriest movie ever.
Wow. That's a big statement.
Yes, and sometimes when we read these statements on the show, and then the movie's made, we don't quite agree.
Right.
You got big shoes to fill, kid.
Yeah, is Hank Skinny in your movie?
Well, he has said it, so hopefully it's true. I would like to be positive for once in my life.
Yeah.
Fucking finger.
Fucking
positive.
Yeah.
If not, I'll flip them off with my little finger. It's going to atrophy now with this big cut. I've
You'll
lost
have
a chunk
finger.
of it. Got my little strong finger to flip you off if it's not the goriest movie ever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's got American Guinea Pig to get past.
Yeah.
He's got Lucifer Valentine to get past. You know, that's bold.
Yep. New movie will once again be written and directed by Robert Green Hall, who said that. While specifics about the flick are being tightly under wraps, they managed to get the scoop via Hall himself. So, writer-director Robert Green Hall on Laid to Rest, Exhumed. That's the number 3. It's going to be called Laid to Rest, Exhumed. So, it's not a straight sequel to Chrome Skull, nor is it an origin story, but will satisfy people who want to know more about Chrome Skull's mysterious motivations. This one is for those who are looking for a non-stop chase movie that never leads up to even more jaw-dropping, unmatched death scenes. So, in fact, he says he'll go on record saying that it will be the biggest and best of the franchise and probably the goriest film of all time. So I did throw the probably in there.
There's a caveat.
He said, I was determined not to do this until one day we had the proper budget to do it right. And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So, turns out it's also going to be shot in 4K. Say that they have they're in good hands with the 4K as far as the shooting crew, everything like that. It's all going to work out. So
that kind of quality can make or break a film.
Yep.
If you're showing the strings.
Sometimes it's too much high quality.
Yeah.
So he only confirmed one cast member, which is Chrome Skull himself, will once again be played by Nick Principi. So other than that, not too much news. Gonna be gory. We hope it's good.
Cool. The first 2 are decent, so yeah, I'll give it a chance. Let's see, I'm going to start with some good news because I've got some shitty news too. So, as most diehard Friday the 13th fans know, the movie was filmed at a place called Camp No Be Bosco, an active Boy Scout camp in Hardwick, New Jersey. Unfortunately, because it's a Boy Scout camp, the place is not open to the public unless you're a Boy Scout. Probably because they don't want to see you molesting, or you don't want you to see them molesting Boy Scouts there.
I try to get in, and they try to run me off the fucking pier.
Yeah.
Into the lake.
Yeah. Then you came back out later and killed a bunch of people. Well...
See? Look at my deformities.
Yeah. You can
put a little
hockey mask on your finger.
Yeah, there's straight like tendons and fat hanging out of this thing. It's pretty gross.
Awesome. So, they're going to be opening this camp on Friday, October 13th, 2017 for a tour. The camp laid out details. As with past tours, the number of tickets will be very limited. Every tour attendee needs a ticket. No exceptions. No tickets will be available at the gate on the day of the tour. Tickets will be announced in 2 groups. Group 1, to show our appreciation for the most dedicated fans, the first group of tickets will be announced via email to anyone who has made a minimum $50 souvenir purchase in our online shop. Group 2, after that, the remainder of the tickets will be announced to our general mailing list, and there's a link on Bloody Disgusting that you can join it to. And the tour announcements will only be made on the mailing list, not posted anywhere else. Tickets go on sale August 28th and will be for sale immediately after the announcement. You can go and tour the original Camp Crystal Lake.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would do it. I mean, I don't get to New Jersey much. I've only been there once.
Right.
So
I've been there a couple times, but yeah, if something like that, if flights were cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flights are fucking insane, so.
Yeah, maybe you'll see some naked chick running through the woods get a machete through her face.
It would be worth the price of the flight.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
So Michael Rooker of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Walking Dead fame is reuniting with his Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer director John McNaughton on a film adaptation of Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man is Hard to Find. Written by the Passion of the Christ writer Benedict Fitzgerald on the screenplay. I don't know how I feel about that.
Passion of the, It's about Jesus, but it was a fucking brutal movie, man. It was Jesus snuff porn.
Yeah, it was. So. The O'Connor story, a duel between the grandmother and the misfit, revisits familiar territory for Rooker and McNaughton. The author's 1950s character, the misfit, is cut from the same cloth as Henry, whom Rooker portrayed in McNaughton's 1986 indie, loosely based on the real-life serial killer, Henry Lee Lucas.
One of the best serial killer movies ever made.
It is, yeah. And the picture, which co-starred Tom Towles and Tracy Arnold, received an X rating from the MPAA, and after critical success on the film festival circuit, it was released unrated and became a cult hit. So, we'll see what this next one has to do. I don't even know what this movie's about. I haven't read the book. That's all that they wrote about this, is Michael Rooker teaming with him. Hopefully they're going more dark territory.
Right.
Because that's a gritty, grimy movie when you watch it.
For sure, absolutely.
Feels like you're watching a snuff film or something.
Yeah, it definitely feels like something you shouldn't be watching. Like they prolong scenes longer than they should go just to make you extra
staring in the
uncomfortable.
fucking mirror and shit.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to my shitty news now so that I can sandwich it with some good news. This is actually more horror music news and bad horror music news. And
Okay.
I think you're aware of this too. I think you commented on it previously.
I did.
Michael Graves, former singer of the Misfits for a time, who calls himself legendary but is not fit to fill Danzig's ample mesh tank top.
Ample mesh tank top. That's our rating system,
right there.
Ample mesh tank top. Danzig's ample mesh tank top.
He's released a new album called The Beginning of the End, and he's proved himself to be a fucking neo-fascist douchebag.
Yeah, he's been posting pro-racism, basically.
Yeah.
Pro-fucking Nazis and Trump and everything else, so fuck that guy.
He released this manifesto with it talking about how Donald Trump is the only thing that can set the world straight, and we shouldn't be worried about racism in America when there's bad things happening in other countries, and then talks about how he thinks that someone's going to try to assassinate the president, and that's going to be the worst thing in the world. It's just fucking crazy-ass, right-wing nut-job conspiracy.
Yeah, and he's like a heroin addict, too. It's really strange.
Yeah, and I know that he's been involved in that whole, like, conservative punk thing, which is a joke in and of itself.
It's
a total oxymoron.
Yeah.
But this is just fucking over the edge and gone bullshit. So if our listeners out there are Misfits fans, as you should be, and you see that Michael Graves has a new album coming out, don't spend your fucking money on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Misfits fan, you're a Danzig Misfits fan.
That's right.
Not that Michael Graves.
I didn't hate American Psycho. I didn't hate Famous Monsters. Michael Graves has a good voice. He's just a fucking terrible human being, apparently.
Yeah, fuck you, Michael Graves. And, instead, why don't you buy Danzig House? Because it's now on the market.
Yeah.
So, go buy Danzig's creepy, fucked up house. Oh, it did?
Yeah, I think it sold. Because it wasn't his actual house. It was like another house that he owned that he'd basically been using as like a storage unit for the last few years. But it's still all fucking gothic and wrought iron and shit.
Yeah.
And the realtor posted some pictures because it was selling it as is, and there was like creepy dolls on shelves,
and action figures,
and like boxes of Count Chocula.
If you do want to spend some money on some Misfits stuff, instead of buying a Michael Graves new album, you can go see the Misfits with Danzig, Jerry Only, and Doyle for one show in California.
Yeah.
The end of December.
Yeah.
Going to be pretty epic. I don't know if I can make it. We'll see how we're doing financially at that time. But that's right after Christmas. When you got 4 kids, it's a little hard to have that extra money. So, yeah. All right. Well, the Dark Tower may have bombed, but it looks like it is tracking to make at least $50 million in its opening weekend. Some people believe it could even approach $60 million. Meaning it would surpass Hannibal, which had $58 million in its opening weekend, and also claim the record for the highest opening for a horror film of all time.
Good. Let's get Hannibal off that record, because it was a shitty movie.
I like Hannibal.
Really?
It's a comedy, dude. If you view it as a comedy, it's really good.
I may have to rewatch it through that lens.
Look at it as a comedy and not a horror movie, and it's funny.
Yeah, watching it as a horror movie
it's good. It smells nice. Yeah. So it should be surpassing Hannibal, and that size of number would bring it into the top 10 listing of highest R-rated opening weekends in history, horror or otherwise. It opens in theaters September 8th. So just in time for the grand opening, they asked director Andy Muschietti what he thought about the original 1990 miniseries. Did you read this?
Mm-mm.
He said, "To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of the miniseries. I was not a child anymore when it came out in 1990, so my attachment was very much to the book and to the world of Stephen King more than the miniseries. I acknowledge how iconic the miniseries was for a generation," he made sure to note, "but you also have to say that because it was a TV movie, not on VHS, it wasn't the whole story of the book. And a lot of the iconic scenes in the movie are parts of the book, but they left so much out."
Right.
So that's what he...
And really, if there wasn't the nostalgia factor attached to it, and if Tim Curry wasn't so awesome...
If Tim Curry wasn't in it, it would be one of the worst ones, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there are some good parts about it, but it's just not...
It doesn't
hold account to the fucking book. Yeah, I've watched it several times, and it just... I can't wait for the new it.
Yeah.
I haven't been excited for a fucking remake in the history of ever.
Ever. Yeah, definitely.
But it's not really a remake, you know? So you can say it's an adaptation of the same book, but it's not a remake of the movie.
Right. So. It's like how, Bram Stoker's Dracula wasn't a remake of the original Dracula movie.
Yeah, it's just another Dracula movie, for sure.
And apparently they're doing an IMAX release for it too. That would almost be worth going down to LA to see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Have to see
Do
if
it
that's in
right.
the cards, yeah.
I'm just hoping it's not just so much CGI of him. That shot of him in the trailer scares me. That when he's just shaking and moving all fast with the guy. I'm hoping they're not going that route. I'm hoping it's him talking and being creepy.
Right.
So
that's what it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if Tim Curry can do it, another actor could.
Yeah.
So my last piece of news is less about horror and more about exploitation and the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
The Punisher is coming before 2017 is over. Coming to Netflix as a miniseries starring John Bernthal from Walking Dead.
Okay.
He fucking owned that role in Daredevil and brought some extreme violence to the scenes that he was in. Fingers getting cut off, people getting fucked up. They finally released a video promo for it, and it looks like a straight-up exploitation movie.
Okay.
It's blood and fucking guns and people getting hit with sledgehammers.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. Like, I'm not a superhero guy. You know that. I'm not
Right.
a comic book guy. I love, like, horror comics
Right.
and stuff. But I'm not a Superman guy,
Right.
you know? But the Punisher could be straight up Death Wish in a better way than Bruce Willis did Eli Roth's Death
Absolutely.
Wish. You know,
Absolutely.
if they did it right, it could be a fucking real gritty. Because
Yeah.
isn't it the same like Revenge?
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
family dying
Yeah,
and shit?
yeah.
So it could be ultimate like revenge movie.
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
Not so much a superhero. You know what I mean?
And the Punisher doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah.
He's just a highly trained special forces guy. You know, there are some people who argue that, like, he has a superpower that he doesn't know about where he's really accurate with his guns. But that's a fucking load of bullshit because the Punisher creates so much collateral damage where he goes and sprays bullets everywhere and fucking destroys everything. Did you see Punisher Warzone with the dude who was in the movie Rome playing Punisher? That movie was a straight up...
I've only seen the one with, I think, was it Dolph
Lundgren?
Yeah.
Not so great. And the one with Thomas Jane was good, but it wasn't a Punisher movie. It was just a good action movie. But the Punisher Warzone was a straight-up exploitation movie with a fucking dark, gritty Punisher murdering fools.
I love revenge exploitation movies.
Yeah.
It's one of my top favorite genres. Like, I love horror comedies a lot. Mm-hmm. I like ultra serious, brutal, gory horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, like Martyr style, like really, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But man, you can't beat a good revenge story.
Yeah, where the violence is justified.
Yeah, justified and brutal.
Yeah. I think you should probably go and check out all the Punisher movies. You probably enjoy all of them for their own reasons. Because also, him not having superpowers, he gets fucked up in these movies.
Yeah.
In the one with Thomas Jane, they send this
And
guy...
he don't have like a fucking Batman suit or anything that protects him, right? Nothing to protect him, right?
Yeah, generally in the movies, he's wearing black pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
But, like, there's in the Thomas Jane movie, there's a scene where he gets attacked by this dude called the Russian, who's played by Kevin Nash, who's just this big fucking angry Russian dude who beats the fucking piss out of him. And
Does he tear his quad halfway through the fight scene?
Oh, brother, my quad! Yeah. I'm excited for this. John Bernthal, from what he played of Frank Castle in Daredevil, was perfect for the part. You know, I was worried that I was going to see Shane from The Walking Dead the whole time I was watching it, and he channeled an entirely different
He's
character.
a really good actor.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted him to die so bad in Walking Dead,
Yeah.
and Walking Dead is the shits now. I'll
Yeah.
come out and say it. I'll probably still watch this season. We'll see. But it is the shits. It's not like it used to be.
I got burned out on it two seasons ago.
I don't care anymore, you know. It's just, it's run its course. They should have done the Breaking Bad thing and ended it while it was hot.
Right.
And then made a spin-off Fear the Walking Dead instead of making them both at once.
Right.
When they did that, it killed it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And,
so,
and
you know,
you know the
Breaking
guy
Bad-
that, what's the name of the guy that does the comic? Kirkman?
Yeah, Kirkman.
He's suing AMC
Really?
because they gave like Breaking Bad and all those ones were produced by outside studios and got all their money. But Walking Dead's produced by their studios, and the AMC's keep like all the fucking profits.
Oh, shit.
So they're getting paid like 1/10 of what Better Call Saul people got paid,
Right.
which is ridiculous because it's like one of the highest rated shows of all time.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully it's pretty good. Is that it for you for horror news?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, we're going to come back with the good movie and the bad movie. Then we're going to get it to some cursed items.
Curses.
I put a curse on you.
Hexed.
A pox upon thee. A pox upon the phony king of England. All right. We'll be back after this.
Hi, thanks for listening to the Post Mortem podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Post Mortem podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. It doesn't cost you any money. We get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
All right, the good movie and the bad movie this week. And I have a fucking stinker.
Yeah.
But I have a really good movie, too.
I feel bad that my bad movie is my bad movie.
Me too. I kind of feel bad, too. I didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be, but at times I didn't want it to be.
Right.
So since I really like my good movie, you want to start us off this week?
I'll fire it off. So this movie is a 2017 horror comedy? Question mark. Directed by Rolf Konevsky, streaming on Netflix, called The Black Room.
And is also my bad movie this week.
It's the first time this has happened.
It is the first time that has happened. Yeah, starring Natasha Henstridge, Lucas Hassel, James Duval of the Doom Generation, and No Dad from Independence Day.
Yeah.
And Lin Shaye, of course.
And Dominique Swain, who is hot.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Cameos by Al Jorgensen, lead singer of Ministry, and my friend Rachel Riley, who I went to high school with and am very good friends with. I didn't know that she was in this movie until I...
And one of your favorite bands singer is in it?
Yeah, one of my favorite band singers in it, and a close personal friend of mine is in it.
And it's your bad movie.
And I really, really, really wanted to like this movie, but... And it's not their fault that it's bad, because they only have small parts. By the way, Lucas Hassel... Totally off-brand Peter Stormare.
Sort of, yeah. Huh? Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
So a couple moves into the house of their dreams, which quickly becomes a living nightmare when they discover a dark secret awaiting in the cellar. It's been locked up for years, trapped inside the Black Room, and it wants out now. A demon who seduces with unholy pleasures, feeds off of fear, and violently kills all who cross its path.
Sex demon,
yeah. This old lady, played by Lin Shaye, basically has an incubus trapped in her basement.
Yeah, and it's incubus movie. I mean, you see a lot of succubus movies. It's been done.
Yeah.
Not a lot of incubus movies. So if you guys don't know, the incubus is like the male
succubus, yeah. So the problem with this movie is that it didn't know what kind of movie it wanted to be. It switched back and forth between horror movie and sex comedy about a middle-aged couple whose fuck clocks weren't synced, but then fell apart when, rape elements were added and threw off all the comedy.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything like it for quite some time, I would say. So,
and
Cold Open opens with Lin Shaye totally ripping off her Insidious character.
Yeah.
Just being stereotyped.
Phoning it in.
Yeah, just typecast. Tells the demon to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And gets thrown around the room comedically, almost slapstick. It's like the Three Stooges at that point. The demon also rapes her granddaughter, and I don't know how they do it, but they make her nipples move around like they're being pinched and twisted.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Force. It was really funny. I like that part. She chases the demon around with some plate thing and gets sucked into a wall. Then we get fucking cheesy music, horrible CGI images.
Yeah, that opening was like suddenly it's like a 1970s romp.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. And then at the end it says a Rolf Konevsky flick.
Real professional.
Yeah, well, it kind of seemed like it was going to be a parody. That opening scene came real comically.
Yeah.
It's almost like Scary Movie or something, you know? Of parody of 80s schlock demon and possessed house movies. And I was hoping it was, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like the director didn't know what kind of movie he wanted to make. If he went full comedy with it, it might have been better. If he went strict horror with it because it was a unique idea, it would have been better. But it fell somewhere in between, and then when you add rape to something and then try to make it funny again afterwards, I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me.
I mean, I guess it could be done. I mean,
a Scary Movie did it, I guess.
Funny rape, you know,
yeah, scary, but like this wasn't funny rape. This was like rape.
Nope. And so Natasha Henstridge and her husband purchase a house. She's still looking pretty good, but it seems like she forgot how to act.
Yeah.
In this movie, she's pretty fucking pathetic as an actress.
Yeah.
But she has a token goth sister who knows about the occult.
Yeah.
And that's got to be there, right?
Right.
Follows is a lot of demonic entity / ghost rape and people sucked into walls and groped by red hands.
Yeah.
A lot of red hands gropage.
And so some of that sucking into wall, like when he was fucking the wall, that was a weird scene.
Yeah.
And so the thing about the supernatural aspect of this that bothered me, though, was that, like, the movie didn't adhere to its own rules. Sometimes the demon was all-powerful, and then other times it was easily subdued, but there wasn't, like, something created its weakness. It was just whatever was convenient for the scene.
Yeah.
And, like, the demon was an incubus. He's supposed to be seductive, but the whole time he just came off rapey and douchey.
Yeah, like the way he hit on girls and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were falling to his charms until he, like, made...
Yeah.
He's, like, making the waitress come in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, from across the room.
Yeah, they weren't falling to his charms. They were falling to his telekinesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been funny if that was the joke, that, like, you know, he's an ancient demon, so he only knows how to seduce people the way that they did 1,000 years ago. But it wasn't even smart enough to get to that point.
He just brings a herd of cattle to her fire.
Have cows, sex meat.
Yeah, I didn't know I needed to see the chick from Species masturbating using only a washing machine, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And also a greased up and moaning Lin Shaye. I didn't know I needed to see that either. But I'm also kind of glad I did.
But I'm intrigued.
The possession is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in a Hellraiser electricity sort of way when he gets possessed. The boobs being switched to a lady's back was pretty funny.
That was funny.
There's a girl that has an attitude. He makes her boobs disappear, get all small.
And she says, "Give me my boobs back."
Yeah, and then they go on her back.
Yeah.
Which is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny.
But, you know, if the whole movie had kept that tone, it would have worked.
Yeah. There's some funny parts. There's a lot of nudity and really well done practical effects on the demon. It actually, we just talked about this the other show, of movies that actually need to show demons instead of just like people get possessed by demons.
Yeah.
I like that. There needs to be more of that, you know?
All the practical effects in this movie were very solid.
Yeah, the CGI was horrible.
Yeah.
And so just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do the CGI.
Yeah.
None of that was necessary, you know? And the demon kind of looks like the Djinn from the Wishmaster,
Yeah,
but
a
with
lot.
more horns.
Yeah.
So
Because he's hornier.
yeah, he's a horny demon, yeah. The movie is super corny, but even though not billed as a horror comedy, I did laugh several times. It does have a demon penis going into a vagina and coming out of the mouth of the woman scene, which, of course, is like demon hentai.
Yeah.
And that has a place.
Yeah, in the world.
It has a place in the world. It has a place in our viewing history, but I don't know if this movie does.
No.
So.
I wanted to like this movie. I really did. It had the lead singer of Mystery and a personal friend of mine in it, so I was excited. But the writing was so herky-jerky and tone-deaf that I kept getting pulled out of it. There's some good special effects, some decent nudity, so I'll give it that. It may still be worth a watch if you've got literally nothing better to do.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Like, you have...
I would say, you know, IMDb gives it a 3.5. I think it was more entertaining than a 3.5.
Yeah.
But there were some cool parts and laughs, but it was just poorly... it didn't go together.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Like, it could have been... If you took a couple different aspects of this movie and made a movie with that, it would have been better. You know, than trying to pile all the shit in. It didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
So,
you know what it felt like was... And I don't know if this is the case or not, but it felt like someone who is not American trying to make a movie for Americans, or someone who like speaks English as
doesn't
a second
understand
language.
the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It does.
It's like if Borat made a horror movie.
Exactly. That's what that is kind of.
I give you sex. Hey.
IMDb gives it 3.5. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna go ahead and be lenient on it, and give it a 5 out of 10. Borat's ample Danzig mesh shirts.
I did the exact same thing, as a matter of fact.
A 5, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think this has ever happened. We've never rated a movie exactly the same thing, except for 10.
Yeah.
Which was The Greasy Strangler, and I think maybe Deathgasm.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had the same bad or good movie.
Yeah. Not at the same
and
time,
rated the same movie.
Yeah.
That means the world's coming to an end. It was the eclipse today.
It was the eclipse
Today
today.
was the eclipse.
There was, yeah. Fuck. That's
At the time of this recording today.
And we're doing an episode about cursed objects.
And a cursed objects episode.
It's the curse of Danzig's tank top.
That's the name of this episode.
Whoa!
That's the curse of Danzig's tank top. Yeah, so, alright, well, we have the same bad movie, so I just did mine too, so why don't you fire off your good movie?
Fire off my good one. 2015 supernatural horror directed by Will Cannon, streaming now on Netflix, Demonic.
I would never watch this. Just like The Black Room, it's the same kind of poster, and it looks just as shitty.
Yeah, well, I watched this because I needed a bad movie. Like, straight up.
Straight up, but being honest. At least he's honest, folks.
Straight up. I needed a bad movie.
I've called him out on it in the past.
Last week was a fucking chaotic week. I was on vacation for 3 days. I came back home, immediately had to go into wrestling promoter mode. Like, I didn't have a lot of time to sit down and watch movies. I needed a bad movie. I just watched Castlevania on Netflix, which I was going to call my good movie, even though it's a 4-episode miniseries.
Was it good?
It was fucking excellent.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. I've been putting it off because it looks like anime.
It is. It's done in an anime style, but it's written by Warren Ellis, who's a British comic book writer who's written some fantastic comic books. It's just a setup for the next season, which is going to be 12 episodes, but it's fucking great, man. It's just...
I'll check it out. All right. I'll give it a chance.
It focuses on the corrupt church and, like, people doing horrible things to each other, and, yeah, it was really good. And it was going to be my good movie, and I recommend everyone watch it. I'm going to give that one by itself 8 out of 10 Danzig mesh tank tops. But I watched Demonic expecting it to be my bad movie, and it became my good movie. So the synopsis is pretty simple. A police officer and a psychologist investigate the deaths of 5 people who were killed trying to summon ghosts. Like I said, I honestly went into this movie expecting it to be bad, figured it would be a cheap rip-off of Insidious or Sinister, and was pleasantly surprised how it turned out. It's a different spin on found footage, as it uses found footage as a trope, but has an actual movie surrounding it, making it a traditional movie about a found footage movie.
Huh, okay.
Like there's a whole movie going on with the detective and the psychologist interviewing the dude who you're not sure if he's a suspect or a victim, and then the footage that they find of everything going together. So the movie is...
So it's like Frailty, but Blair Witch Project Frailty?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. The setting, production, special effects, all that was decent. Nothing really spectacular across the board, but it was professional and adequate. Characters had a good balance of likable and unlikable, but really weren't all that fleshed out. It was the story that really made this movie interesting. There's a neat twist at the end that tied everything together that was set up really well, because you initially see it coming, then they swerve you away from it, and then when they bring it back, it's done in a different way than you expected.
Okay.
Solid supernatural horror, well-crafted story. Takes a worn-out trope and uses it in a new way to make it feel fresh and interesting. And just when you think that there's no more good ghost stories out there, things like this come along and shake it up. It's not perfect, but what it lacks in character development or groundbreaking originality, it makes up for with good story and creativity. So I'm going to give it a 7.25 out of 10 ample mesh tank tops.
Ample mesh tank tops, like only Danzig knows how to wear.
That's right. Like only Danzig should ever wear.
Danzig and Christian from 1998 WWF. But, you know, if you guys only listen to us on your podcasting devices and you don't really see the website, each episode has a graphic. Sometimes very hilarious, extremely poorly put together. It looks like collages, like in Crass Records.
Like, you make it on MS Paint, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm quite the graphic designer.
You are.
This episode...
You are a savant.
I don't know if I can pull it off, but what I'm going to try to do, and you can look at it, it might be done, it might not, but have Danzig and Lin Shaye making out wearing mesh tank tops. And that's my goal.
Replace his horn skull belt with Biff's face with horns.
Yeah. Nothing gets me going like some Danzig Lin Shaye makeout sessions. All right.
Whoa.
My good movie this week is also streaming now on Netflix. 2016, written and directed by Michael O'Shea in his first feature film, and starring Eric Ruffin and Chloe Levine, The Transfiguration. Have you seen this pop up on your suggestions yet?
I haven't watched it yet.
Dude, you're going to watch it tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
As soon as you can
Netflix.
watch another movie,
Right.
you're going to watch it. So, When troubled teen Milo, who has a fascination with vampire lore, meets the equally alienated Sophie, the two form a bond that begins to blur Milo's fantasy into reality. Starts off with young Milo drinking blood from a guy who's on the toilet in a public bathroom. He then takes the guy's money and heads home on the subway. He then goes home and stashes the money behind an impressive collection of bootleg VHS vampire movies and pukes in his room's trash can. And it's in the ghetto.
I'm picturing him as Milo Yiannopoulos this whole time.
No, picture him as the black kid from Fresh with the backpack.
Okay.
He's about like 13 years old, black kid, always has a backpack. He lives in the ghetto. He's a good-hearted kid, and he's always being tempted by these other like gangbangers and shit like that, like threatening him and doing all this shit. And so gets a lot of flack from the local thugs for being a freak. They all call him a freak. They know
so
how
he's
like
Sean Black.
He's like a gothic ghetto kid.
Okay.
So
there's a rapper called Syringe, who's exactly that.
Really?
He's like a goth black kid, and like
he's not goth. Like he doesn't dress like that.
Oh, okay.
It's all his mind and the way he acts, and he's super awkward.
Okay.
He was very endearing to me because he's super awkward.
You love awkward.
He's always grabbing. Yeah, I love awkward. I'd gravitate toward awkward because I myself am also strange and unusual. So he always grabs his backpack straps as he's walking.
Okay.
He's always doing that. You know what I mean? He always looks uncomfortable, like he doesn't know. You know, he doesn't want anyone to talk to him or look at him or anything. So this is the kind of movie where not much happens for a long time, and it fucking works. It's a slow, awkward burn. So I haven't seen a vampire movie I like this much since Let the Right One In.
Oh.
And it has a similar vibe
Okay.
between the older girl. She's older too, but they actually fucking stuff. He's like 13 or 14, and she's probably like 18.
Okay.
Or something like that. So a little questionable there. No, she might be younger. We'll see though. She's a lot taller than him though. He's a lot shorter, you know. So it looks like she's way bigger. So there's no score mostly in the whole movie, which actually works in its favor because when the score does hit, it's super intense.
Okay.
So it's minimal score. A lot of just him walking with no music, no sound, except for just ambient sounds, you know. Eric Ruffin and Chloe Levine both delivered great performances, and I would love to see more from them, and especially from writer-director Michael O'Shea. In his first movie, he created this, and it's a pretty good budget. I don't know how you go about making your first movie and getting a budget like this. I think it might be...
Blowjobs.
I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but it's on Netflix, so it might be, though. So Milo is both creepy and sympathetic.
Okay.
And awkward. Excellent practical effects. No CGI. Awesome. Kind of like level of Green Room kind of gore where it's like sudden, swift, brutal violence that comes out of nowhere and is grisly looking and ultra realistic. There's a horrible broken nose scene that's cringeworthy. Milo operates through a strict set of rulebooks he wrote based on his vast collection of vampire movies.
Cool.
He has like his rules for being like a vampire.
Vampire rules.
Yeah, his vampire rules. He's like trying to become like a dungeon master for D&D, but to his own vampire life, where he's writing these books.
So he's writing the real life version of Laws of the Night, which is the vampire LARP rules book.
Pretty much, yeah, that kind of thing. So the movie goes weird, dark places you don't see coming until later on. It's equal parts sweet, awkward, and disturbing.
Nice.
1/3 sweet, 1/3 awkward, 1/3 disturbing. So IMDb gives it a 6.0. I'm going to go ahead and give it 8.9 ample Danzig mesh tank tops.
Wow. So is this like on Excision level?
No.
Okay.
Excision is a far better movie than this, I would say. And I'm not trying to put it down, but the level of awkward in Excision is probably my favorite ever, I would say. Maybe Happiness would be number 2.
Okay. Well,
so
Excision was made by a more experienced director.
Yeah, I would say like
so.
Excision, Happiness, Welcome to the Dollhouse are my 3. That's my top 3 awkward movies.
Right.
You know, because that's like my favorite thing, especially for like quirky little indie comedies and stuff.
Right.
Awkward, you can make awkward pretty cheap.
Yeah, you don't need special effects.
You don't need special effects and budget to make it awkward. So
nice.
Yeah, but check it out. 8.9. I mean, I could even go higher. I mean, I'll be watching it again. So
cool. I'll check it out.
The Transfiguration. So that's it for the good movie and bad movie, because we both have a bad black room where unspeakable things
disappointing
things happen with many red hands. There's nothing like getting a disappointing hand job from 20 red hands popping out of the wall. Popping out of the wall in the basement.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with our top 5 cursed items as suggested by listener Eileen after this.
Hey guys, we might be switching hosting services soon.
They took our host.
They took our fucking host.
Charlize Theron took our host.
So, only time will tell. But this little commercial here, SoundCloud might be going bankrupt. If it is, we're going to be switching over to a little service called Libsyn. So if we disappear from your feeds, if we're coming to you every week, we want to keep all of our subscribers. When we switch over, make sure you're following us on our website, postmortemshow.com, Facebook, everything like that. So if you don't get an episode one day soon in your feed, it's not that we're late. It's not that we're unreliable, because we're reliable.
Yeah, we're like 70-something episodes deep.
77. We're like clockwork.
Yeah.
We'd love to be a part of your Wednesday.
Yeah, we are your Wednesday. We are your Wednesday.
With our pigtails and everything. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Facebook. And if you can't find the new feed when it does happen, go ahead and send us an email, postmortemshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll tell you where to go. And you can always see us on YouTube.
Some people do.
Some people do.
But
there's this one chick that listens to us on YouTube.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We'll be coming out now with our new feed. Hope you guys cross over to the dark territory.
Post Mortem style.
And we're back! That was hard.
Oh, there was not a lot of emphasis on that one. No oomph.
I can't do it. I got a sore throat.
Yeah.
And we're back! With the top 5 cursed items. That was a little bit more emphasis.
Yeah.
So yeah, cursed items. There's a lot of them in horror movies, but I had difficulty with this list because I feel like my list is going to be a little too much mainstream. You know, I like to talk about some of the movies that people may not have seen, suggest some new classics, in my opinion, for people to check out. That's kind of what we do here with the podcast, in addition, and try to make some dick jokes and talk about Doug Jones.
Right.
Because,
that's what the show's all about.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this one's definitely going to be more member berries,
Yeah.
Movies that everyone's probably seen, but they should go back and check it out again.
Yep. So, you want me to start us off since you started off the good movie, bad movie? My number 5 has a lot to do with an old man named Andre Toulon, who created a set of puppets in the Puppet Master series. Cursed puppets.
Yeah.
Torch, Blade, Driller, the Leech Woman, Pinhead. What else? What's the serpent guy?
I don't remember.
Nonetheless, there are many, many different puppets. I suggest if you're going to watch a Puppet Master, you watch Puppet Master 2. Number 1 does have William Hickey, who's the guy in the Tales from the Crypt episode where he keeps trading his old body for a young body.
Yeah.
And then she goes with the guy. He's trading his body to a buff guy. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then eventually he's got his voice coming out of this young guy's body, which is really fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
And he's also the neighbor in the Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
He used to be the Don.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
And so that's pretty cool, but it's definitely questionable effects towards the end and shit with the foam and
it's
stuff.
An early full moon picture.
It is, but number 2 is so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. And then it just goes off the rails from there. So
then you get Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
Yeah, you get
with
that
Corey
kind
Feldman.
of shit. And then the Nazi Puppet Master movies are not that great. I heard the new one's going to be good, though.
Yeah.
So I will check it out. I'll
I like
give it a
the
chance.
concept of them. It was just the execution was not very good.
Full moon movies have a special place in my heart from being a kid because, I'd get any horror movie that came out. So I saw all those fucking movies. Robot Jocks and, those kind of things. Yeah. Oblivion, Head of the Family. Head of the Family actually holds up.
Subspecies.
Yeah, Subspecies. Not so much.
I went back and watched all of them. There are good ones and there are bad ones.
The vampire looks good.
Yeah.
He looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. Have you seen Head of the Family?
I've never heard of that.
It's a fucking giant head with tiny little body. and he's like in a little wheelchair and stuff. But he is a brother of his brothers and sister. He controls their bodies like proxies. One of them is really strong and big.
Uh-huh.
One of them is a sexy woman. One of them is a guy that can see really far and has like acute senses. So he controls multiple members of his family's bodies like they're his drones.
Uh-huh.
And he's the head of the family.
Huh.
And it's got a lot of nudity. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and do our top 5 douchebag characters again, or top 5 rednecks, because there's people in this movie that fit both categories.
I'll have to go back and check
that
out.
can make the list for both categories.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty good. So I suggest you watch that, Head of the Family, if you haven't seen it. It's probably my favorite full moon.
I think my favorite is Blood Dolls.
Really?
Yeah, that movie's silly as fuck.
I don't even remember it.
Michelle and I went back and watched it recently.
What's that fucking movie they made with a little like Frankenstein and like there's like midget of the classic monsters? Like there's a Dracula and a Frankenstein and stuff like that, but they're like dwarves. I think they like grow out of the ground or come from like a basement or some shit. I just remember it from being a kid. It was a fucking... If any of you guys listening, you remember some movie that sounds kind of like that, please write into the show, postmortemshow@gmail.com. Or if you want to suggest a list like listener Eileen, that says our top 5 cursed items. But yeah, I need to know what that fucker is.
I'm going to have to look that up. I've never even heard of that. Midget Frankenstein.
It's a midget... It might... Don't give me... It might be... I might be wrong. It's midget famous like... Almost like Universal Monsters and shit, or something like that. It's a full moon thing, I think. So. One of the things you get at Hollywood Video that was just super shitty.
Right.
So.
All right, my number 5 is from a movie that's way better than it has any right to be. It's The Laundry Press from The Mangler.
It's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I actually rewatched a lot of its... I watched like every Mangler kill on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
For this list, and the movie itself is not that great, but it is a lot better than you think a laundry press killing people would be.
Yeah, you know, conceptually it's fucking stupid.
Yes.
You know, like... Yeah, it's a laundry press that's haunted and kills people.
Yeah.
But Robert Englund's in it, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, if he's going to be in something, it's at least going to have some entertainment value there. And the kills are great.
Yeah, it is pretty gory and good. So yeah, the Mangler. I got to rewatch that fucker. I watched some of the kills and it was making me laugh. Yeah, because it's so fucking silly.
Right.
But I got to rewatch that fucker. So my number 4 might be on your list. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, because it's a movie that we both talked that gave one of our favorite directors his start as far as when we started paying attention. But The Mirror from Oculus.
That's number 3 actually.
Your number 3. Okay, we'll wait to talk about that then.
My number 4 is The Painting of Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2.
I knew that would be on your list, so I kept it on my honorable mentions because you love you some Vigo mullet.
I have a framed painting of Vigo the Carpathian that I will be...
Does it ever come out and talk to you?
It's in storage right now. It's actually in Michelle's garage right now.
Does
because
it ask
I don't
you?
really have a home, but...
When I was helping you move, I saw that and I laughed, but I forgot to mention it.
I was going to hang it up over the fireplace in my old place before I had to leave. Because
over the fireplace?
How great would that be?
Right next to your Kramer painting?
I used to have, when I lived in San Francisco, I had a velvet James Brown painting over my fireplace.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
That's
a classy move.
It cost $300.
That's a classy move. Velvet James Brown over the fireplace. And that's going to make the ladies wet.
Yeah, when I moved, my ex-girlfriend stole it from me while I was moving.
Oh, have you ever seen that video of him drunk doing the interview?
Yeah.
Those glasses on. He's got Dahmer glasses on. He's drunk.
He's all coked out.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He can't even sing it. He's singing it all shit.
What if they made a new Ghostbusters movie and the painting was of James Brown and it was haunted?
Dude, that's a film that needs to happen.
Fucking
Haunted James Brown.
Call it Godfather of Dark Soul.
The Godfather of Dark Souls. I like that. So yeah, that's your number 4.
Yeah.
My number 4, again, we talked about Mirror from Oculus.
Yeah.
Is your number 3.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 are the furs in a segment of Masters of Horror called Pelts.
I don't think I've seen that one.
With Meatloaf.
No.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Meatloaf cuts a shirt out of his own skin and takes it off of his body and gives it to someone. There's these cursed fur pelts that make people do things. And makes it makes people want to make human pelts. And it's probably one of my favorite fucking Masters of Horror segments that there are. Imprint being, of course, the universal favorite.
Right.
Yeah, the pelts. And then I also kind of took also this and tied it with the movie and Cigarette Burns. The other Masters of Horror that I really like. Another one.
It's a good one,
that makes people fucking kill themselves and go crazy because it's the most crazy movie ever.
Yeah.
I suggest you watch some Lucifer Valentine, kids. That movie ain't got shit.
It'll make you puke in your grandma's mouth. Even if she's not alive, you'll dig her up and go puke in her mouth.
Some of my favorite Masters of Horror, and I like that because if you look at it for a series, it's alright. But if you look at it think about it like an anthology horror movie. You know, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit longer, you know, and questionable picks for who are the Masters of Horror to direct some of these. There are some questionable ones, but I like pelts a lot, and I also like cigarette burns. And it has Udo Kier.
Yeah.
So one has meatloaf and one has Udo Kier. So
I never saw pelts. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Cigarette burns is excellent.
Yeah, it is. And Imprint being the best, I would say.
I really like Jennifer.
Jennifer's pretty good. Yeah, and Right to Life. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that was a good one too.
It's like the lobster baby.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. So yeah.
Number 3 for me is The Mirror in Oculus.
Oh yes.
A movie where the villain is a fucking mirror. You know?
And that movie is tense. It's got some tense moments.
Yeah, especially for, the subject matter being so
WWE
simple.
films.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
What the fuck?
There's so much here that makes this that it should be a bad movie.
Yeah.
And it's not. And again, I'm going to credit that to Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, and you know what? This is kind of where we got our first taste of Mike Flanagan, as far as us, I think, when we started going off about it.
Yeah.
And he has excelled since then. This is not his best movie by any means.
But it's very good.
He can make good movies about Ouija boards.
Yeah.
So
if anyone can, if anyone can make a good movie about a Ouija board, they've got to be a great director.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just,
something that's not going to make my cursed items list.
Yeah.
Ouija boards.
It's a solid movie, and a lot of these movies, like the cursed objects, bring something else, and that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
In this, that's not it. Like, there is a ghost that's in the mirror that you see periodically, but it's the mirror and what it does to people and how it fucks with their perceptions that really is what makes it horror.
And that they're thinking they're doing things, but they're just sitting there looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And time will go off when they set those alarms and shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I love the scene where she picks up the apple to bite into it, and then she's bit into the light bulb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, yeah, I really like Oculus. It's worth a watch if you guys haven't given it a chance, because I believe it is PG-13 also, isn't it? Yeah. And
PG-13, WWE films about a fucking haunted mirror.
And he still nails it.
That's
pretty awesome, so. My number 2 and number 1 are the number 2 and number 1, in my opinion, and the most mainstream that they could be. We probably have the same number 2
I think are probably
going to
be the same, yeah.
So my number 2 is the Lament configuration from Hellraiser.
Mine as well.
The puzzle box.
Yep. There's too much synchronicity happening. This episode is cursed.
What's your pleasure? Little ancient Chinese man. And bum.
Hobo dragon bums.
Yeah, the Hellraiser, I think, it doesn't get its due because some of the later ones are questionable, but the concept behind it, it's... Okay, so it's a lot stronger of a concept than, let's say, Friday the 13th as a series.
Yeah.
Little boy gets drowned, mom comes back, he kills people because he's mad.
Yeah, they keep it simple for that.
Yeah, Hellraiser has many layers.
It's a deep concept.
Yes.
To the point where even the villains, it's ambiguous as to whether or not they're actually entirely evil.
I don't think that they are the villains in the movies, but they get explained.
Right.
In Hellraiser 3, especially.
Yeah.
So
they are what they are.
Yeah.
What they're doing is scary and not pleasant.
Because you see people being killed and turned into Cenobites in a lot of these movies.
Right.
With CD-ROMs.
Yeah. Coming out of their head.
Yeah.
Twins being twisted together.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Would you, if she used to be a man and she became a woman, would you fuck her? I don't know, I guess if she was cut and all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those fucking security guards?
The
twin security guards?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite Hellraiser movie. I get a lot of flack for that. Yes, Hellraiser Bloodline is my favorite Hellraiser movie of all time.
2 is my favorite.
Yeah, 2 is awesome. I mean, I know number 1 and 2 are better movies than number 4, but Bloodline is my favorite because I've seen that fucker so many times.
Yeah.
I had the VHS tape when I was a kid and fucking ran it dry.
Yeah.
So that leaves number 1. There can only be number 1.
There's only
this
one.
Fucking Highlander of H.P. Lovecraft concepts. The Necronomicon.
Naturon de Monto.
Book of the Dead.
Which I'm getting tattooed on my arm on Friday.
Yes. Hey, it's a good time to do your cursed items.
Yeah, get a cursed tattoo.
What if your tattoo does become cursed?
That would suck.
That would. It'd be
Like
that one
staff.
movie. What's that movie where the tattoo moves around the girl and fucks
Oh,
her?
Comforting Skin?
Comforting Skin, yeah.
Except it's the Necronomicon.
Necronomicon's moving around to Dom's butthole as we speak.
Yeah. Making me punch myself right in the taint repeatedly.
Yeah, the Necronomicon goes without saying. It would be number 0 if I would have had a stronger list.
Yeah.
Not the strongest top 5 we've ever had. A lot of mainstream, but sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mainstream outweighs the indie. It's rare, but
yeah. These movies are classics for a reason.
Yeah. And same with our top 5 quotes. When we do our top 5 quotes,
Yeah.
there's not going to be a lot of the obscure movies because some of these quotes live on forever.
Forever.
In infamy.
And sometimes they're even misquoted.
Yes, indeed. Like, and Duke Nukem.
Yeah. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I have a few.
I do too.
VHS tape from The Ring.
Yep.
Something I thought that was going to definitely be on your top 5, The Amulet of Pazuzu.
You know,
from The Exorcist.
when I was doing some research, I saw that. I never made the connection myself that the amulet itself was cursed. I thought it was just like a warning or like a serendipitous thing.
Yeah, it came up in my research, and I
Yeah.
kind of put it on my honorable mentions because it wasn't real strong in the movie.
Yeah,
I didn't.
But
have
I get what they're saying in what I read, like
Yeah.
that maybe that was like the sign of that. But I don't necessarily blame that. It was just more like a harbinger.
Yeah. Just like our number 1 in the Sam Raimi movie, The Button from Drag Me to Hell.
Fuck yeah.
So actually, Necronomicon, it could be a lot of different movies. I'd take that back. It's not just Evil Dead.
Right.
It is also Army of Darkness.
Yeah. And Necronomicon.
Yeah, and Necronomicon. There's a bunch. It's referenced in other things.
But
Christine.
it actually wasn't called the Necronomicon until the second movie. They called it Necronomicon Ex Mortis in the beginning of Evil Dead 2, but in the first Evil Dead, it was Naturam de Monto, which means nothing.
Yeah. I like the Necronomicon better.
Yeah.
So, Christine, the car.
Yeah.
Cursed car.
58 Plymouth Fury.
Yep. Is that on your honorable mention too?
I don't like the movie Christine.
You know?
No.
I like the nerd guy.
Yeah.
I like how the nerd is kind of the bully.
Yeah, he's it's interesting. I just don't like the movie.
Yeah. The Zuni doll from Trilogy of Terror. The Mangler. The Cars from Maximum Overdrive.
I forgot about that movie.
The Slave Dolls from Tales from the Hood. I love Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, great movie.
Cuban B. The Painting of Vigor of the Carpathian. And my last one is The Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not necessarily horror, but one of the greatest cursed object scenes there is of all time. And you can't go wrong with melting Nazis. You melt some Nazis, you're good in my book.
Anytime a Nazi gets melted, I'm happy. I had 3 that were not in your honorable mentions. Everything in the basement in the cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
Every single fucking item there was cursed.
The stapler in the basement in cabin in the woods.
The rat in the basement in the cabin in the woods. That rat is cursed.
The merman. Cursed merman.
The video game in Brainscan.
I saw that in my research too. Somebody had made some video of top 10s, and I saw that, and to me it's not a cursed video game though, because it's all part of the game. Oh, spoiler alert!
If you haven't seen Brainscan yet,
it's not a. It's a game.
Yeah,
it's just a video game. It's not cursed. It's just a very effective video game.
It plays itself as cursed, and then it's not actually cursed.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I do love me some Brainscan.
And something that never really occurred to me, but came up in my research that I now agree with, is the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, according to Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, his prosthetic hand.
Yeah.
Freddy's prosthetic glove.
Coming back to life.
Yeah, and then him coming back to life.
Freddy looks silly in that movie, but as far as horror movies go, that's a really fucking solid horror movie in and of itself.
And I think it's underrated. And I don't think Freddy looks silly. I think he looks more realistic and scary than the other Freddy. He looks like pizza.
Yeah, he does. And he looks like, and I think this is why they made him look that way. He looks like an amalgam of what a Hollywood monster should look like.
He looks like a demon Freddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just like a burnt
He's
guy
even got little
back.
horns.
Yeah, he's like a more demonic, if he was a real demon. If it was like a demon trying to be Freddy or something,
Right.
it kind of looks
exactly.
like that.
So yeah, that's... And then I kind of have a 0, but it's not a curse from a movie. It's just a cursed film franchise.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people dying on set. I was doing my research. There was a lot of instances of cursed movies.
Yeah.
This is a movie that's cursed. People have died on the set. A bunch of shit happened to people who were in it. That kind of thing. That shit was clogging my Google when I was trying to look up, to come up with this list, because I was burning my brain. I've had a lot of concussions, as you know. I have some memory lapse problems. That's why I'm hanging it up.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot going on lately. So, listeners, we apologize for, not the strongest list we've ever had. Eileen, could have done you better, but I don't know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Maybe suggest another one and we'll go a little bit more obscure. as they say. So, that's Cursed Items.
That's it.
You're going to go get Cursed Items tattooed on you after
I
this.
am. I'm going to go get my free tattoo that I won the night that we hosted the Leslie Vernon thing.
Yep, at the Post Mortem live show.
Yep.
Rigged. It's fake drawings. This is fake. Fake drawings.
Kayfabe drawings.
Kayfabe drawings.
Yep.
And I'm going to go purchase myself a cursed mesh tank top.
Yeah. Go for
to
it.
show off this bod.
Walk around the house in it. Go curl up in bed next to David in it.
I'm not going to walk around the house in it. I'm going to go to the post office.
7-Eleven.
I'm going to go to Walmart in my mesh tank top.
Yeah. Just a mesh tank top.
And nothing
like
else.
A bondage Winnie the Pooh.
And mesh pants also. See-through mesh pants also.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So, I guess, as H.P. Lovecraft once said, as he put on his mesh tank top and his leather pants and his big skull belt buckle, whoa! It smells like fish!
Throw the fucker back.
To Danzig.
Mother, turning tables not to run my way. Need children not to hear my words, but wait what they say. Mother, mother, tell your children now day and night. Tell your heart out is raining now. Oh, mother. Gonna take the river down tonight. Got everyone down on the world. Oh, mother! Oh, no! Tell me your name. Let me on you down, baby. Let me tell you what I'm dying. But I'm dying. I don't know to see you dying. And they are down the way. Didn't tell me what I'm. Mother, tell your children not to go their way. Tell your children not to understand. No, mother, mother, do you want to do next to me? Do you want to do it today? Oh, mother! No, 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 you say you're lawyer. You say what you do, babe. Can tell you what it's doing. Now that's it. But now you see I know. And now I'm doing it. I didn't tell you what it's Yeah.